So I'm giving you a warning now, this video could be a little bit all over the place. Right everyone, hope you're doing well. Thanks for pressing play once again. I'm man they call Pixel Paul. And today I've got a day off work. Yay! It's Friday and I've decided to take a day off work and I'm going to do what I usually do and probably head out and look for some games. So this video is going to be a little bit... I have no sort of strict plan or any structure to this video. It could be a little bit, it might even be a little bit vlog style I guess. But I know kind of where I'm going today. I know what I'm looking for as well specifically. But there's also tomorrow, so I might take some footage of stuff tomorrow because I know I've got a bit of time. There's a bit of football tomorrow as well, so I'll piece it together as I move along, I think. Something different maybe. So yeah, apologies if you like a little bit of structure and a little bit of professionalism. You're possibly not going to get that with this video this time, but we'll see. So anyway, so first port call is I think I'm going to head into Bolton because there's one game which I've been looking for. It's a PlayStation 3 game. I actually mentioned this game a few weeks ago on one of my other videos. It's one of the few PlayStation 3 games which I've really wanted to play and really wanted to have in the collection. It's always been a little bit pricey, but I do actually have some games to trade in, which I might as well show you what they are. You might be interested. So I'm going to trade in Minecraft Dungeons Hero Edition on Switch. That's the boys, but he wasn't that bothered about it. Also Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Decent trade on those two, something like 30 quid just for those two. Gungrave Gore is going as well. I just couldn't get back into that. I just didn't think it was that great. Not terrible or anything, but just not brilliant. Power Wash Simulator, played that, done that. And then I'm going to get rid of these two as well. World End Syndrome and Shining Resonance Refrain, because there's decent trading on those two as well. And I just sat there and I have played through that one a little bit. But it meandered along. I didn't really get along with it, and I don't think I'm going to play that one. I purely really have that one because of the tin, but yeah, decent trade on them. So I'm going to get a decent wedge for that lot, which is hopefully going to pay for this first game, this first PlayStation 3 game, and potentially another one later on, but I'll show you those later on anyway. So I'm going to have a quick cup of tea and then we'll get going. Right, so I arrived in Bolton. I'm going to go to CEX, going to get those games traded in. There's one game that I know they've got in there at the moment. They've got it in stock. They've had it all week. I've been tracking it and keeping an eye and making sure it's not been sold. But yeah, hopefully they've still got it there. It's a game. Well, there's two games today which are on my, or have been on my most wanted list for quite some time, and I'm hoping to get both of them got today. So fingers crossed. Let's go and have a look. Let's go to CEX. Right, so back from CEX and disappointment in the end. So
The game was Folklore on PlayStation 3. It's a game that I've wanted for a while. £45 on it at the moment. They had it in no manual. Now, I know I've said in the past that no manual's not a big deal breaker for me, which is true. When I'm paying, you know, £3, £4, £5 for a game, I'm not that bothered. But when you're paying £45 for an older game like that, especially one that's so sort of collectible, yeah, I wanted the manual with that. So I've left that, which is a bit of a shame. I'm hoping that's not a sign of things to come. But on we go. So next stop, I'm going to head over to Ashton, which is sort of on the other side of Manchester, for the second game on my most wanted list. Hopefully I'll have a bit more luck with that one. Let's go. That one wasn't so good either, so I'm going to try and check out this retro game store now. Just found it, so let's have a look. I told you I am having no luck today. We'll go back in 5 minutes. Let's try again. There, but I picked up a few things from Rewind. There's two big charity shops here, so I'm going to go and have a look in these two. They look big. You never know, we'll see. So Ashton was a little bit of a fail, in all honesty. Yeah, the two games I went for, well, one game was from Bolton, one was from Ashton. I'll tell you about the one that I was looking at in Ashton in a little bit, but yeah, didn't pick it up. So on the way home, I've come to Lee. I thought I'd nip to Lee, just to have a look in Gremlins games, CEX, see what they've got there, just out of interest. Wouldn't you know it, I think it is going to start to rain as well, just to sum up the day, just to cap it off nicely. Anyway, let's go and see what we can find. So that was a bit of a hit and miss day, really. Not quite how I planned it, and yeah, not quite as successful as I was hoping it was going to be. So as you saw at the beginning, I did really go out today with the intention of A, having a nice day off work, which I did, to be fair, B, trading in those games to CEX, which I did as well, and I got £72 credit for those as well, which I was happy with, all accepted, so they all went through fine, got that voucher. And yeah, there were two games in particular today which I was looking to get, two games which are on my sort of most wanted list. I have a little book with all these games on, most wanted, usually a bit more pricey, so they're not ones that you can just go out and buy straight away or find straight away. They are kind of not necessarily rarer games, but just games that are a little bit money wise, a little bit sort of more out of my reach, and I wouldn't just go out and buy them on a whim, if you like. So having that voucher, or getting that voucher, was the start of hopefully trying to get those two games, but sadly, yeah, not to be. So Folklore in Bolton, a game that I've been after for a while, really want to play that game. It was in decent condition, in fairness, £45, but there was no manual, and I've said this before, I'm not that bothered about manuals. If it's a £3 game, £4 game, even, you know, less than £10, if it's not got a manual, I'm not that fussed. But when you're buying something old or older, and it's a, you know, it's a fair sort of price on it, especially something like Folklore as well, because it's quite a collector's piece in a way. Yeah, I'd rather have it with the manual. So I did step away from that one. And then the other game, which I was after as well, a game that I've never owned physically, and I just really wanted to pick this one up, was Streets of Rage 2 on the Mega Drive. And they had a copy in Ashton, and yeah, if you're after a copy of Streets of Rage 2, you don't want that copy from Ashton. So it was £38 priced up at. That was, you know, fully boxed, fully complete. I'm not sure really if you can call that a boxed and complete version of it, because it was a mess. When it was in the glass cabinet, I could see that the box wasn't shutting properly, which, you know, does happen, and you can, or I could probably replace that box. But yeah, when the lad behind the counter sort of brought the game around, he was sort of looking at it before giving, you know, looking to sell it, and he showed me the manual, which was, you know, pages were falling off it, the front cover was ripped, the back cover was coming away. It was just a right mess. And then the cartridge itself, obviously it works, but the cartridge sticker just looked like it had been chewed. You know, the sort of top line of the Mega Drive cart sticker, it just all been sort of, I don't know, it actually looked like it had been chewed off in a way. So yeah, it was a right mess. So I wasn't spending £38 on that copy. I will try and find a better copy of that, and I'm sure one day I will. So they were the disappointment, really. I did have a nice breakfast at IKEA though. So £2.75 for a breakfast like that. It's nothing amazing, but it certainly filled the gap, which was good. So cheers. So that's the disappointment out of the way today. I have, of course, still picked up some games, and yeah, one or two really good games as well, actually. So let's have a quick look through the games that I've picked up. CEX mainly. We'll go through the CEX ones first. So I picked up on PlayStation 2 CEX. That was £3. Possibly I'd missed the boat with this one, because I'm sure it was £2.50 not that long ago, I think, anyway. Or was it £4? Can't remember, not sure actually. But yeah, £3 for CEX. I've played this one before, really enjoy it. It came out around the same time as Second Sight, which I preferred. I did prefer Second Sight. This is a bit more of an action-based sort of psychic power kind of game, but it's still good. So yeah, happy to get that. I think I might have the Xbox version of it, but I originally played the PlayStation 2 version, and I wouldn't mind playing it again at some point. So yeah, PsyOps, the Mindgate Conspiracy. Underrated little game, that one. It is good. And then next up, I picked up this one. Again, I think this might have come down, because I've seen it before, but not picked it up. I think it might have been about £6 not long ago. PlayStation 2, 1945, 1 and 2. The arcade game. Is that the full title? The arcade games. So yeah, top-down shoot 'em up. I thought it was quite a nice little pick-up at £4, that one. Nice and complete. Nice condition as well, actually. So yeah, happy to pick up that one. We'll see what that one's like. But yeah, it just looks like a standard 1945 shooter, really. So yeah, happy with that one. Next up, so I got this on the Xbox 360. I've got a version of this on the Wii, I think, on the Nintendo Wii. But I don't think I've ever played like the full proper console version of it. and it's Need for Speed Undercover on the Xbox 360. £3 paid on that one. I know it's not the best Need for Speed game ever made. A lot of people don't like this actually. I played it on the Wii and it was alright, or it seemed alright, but I've not played a lot of it on the Wii. But on the Xbox 360 I probably will play this maybe a little bit more. So yeah, £3.50, I thought I'd pick that one up. Again, nice and complete. So yeah, £3. Another game which I do have before, and this was just a bit of an impulse buy. It was only £1.50, and I mainly got it because I actually prefer this cover compared to the original version. It's on PlayStation 3, Dead Island Special Edition. So I just think that cover is awesome. To be fair, actually, the original Dead Island, and I should get it out to compare it. Where is it? There we go. Let's pull that one out. So that's the original cover for Dead Island, and to be fair, that is quite an amazing bit of cover art. I think it is really good, but I just quite like that cover. I think it's really nice. It's kind of very GameCube Resident Evil 4 with the red and black. So at £1.50 I just thought I quite like that actually, so I'm going to grab that as well, which is going to stay on the shelf. I don't know, probably that one actually. But yeah, Dead Island, it's been a long time since I played Dead Island. I think I actually played it on the 360 originally. So yeah, might try and give that another go at some point. See if it's as good as I remember it being. But yeah, £1.50. So then they were the CEX pickups. I did then go, when I was in Ashton, I went to the shop called Rewind, and I'd actually, the first time I went to Ashton, because this is only the second time I've been there. The first time I went there, I did try to go to this shop, but it was shut. Can't remember which day it was, but it was shut, sadly. So that was part of the reason to go there today, was to get Streets of Rage 2, bail, and then to go and have a look in this game shop in Ashton, Rewind, which I thought was going to be a fail, because when I got there, it was shut again. But I think it was only shut for like lunch. I think the lad had gone to get some lunch or something. So yeah, when I came back, it was open again. I had a nice look around in there. It's quite a small shop, quite claustrophobic actually. It's quite sort of low ceilings, and there's just stock everywhere. So there's a lot of games sort of towards the back of the store, and then a lot of like merch and toys and that sort of thing in there as well. So yeah, it's a nice little cozy treasure trove of goods. So yeah, it's an interesting one. If you're ever in the area, it's worth a look in there. But games wise, I picked up 2 from there. So the first one I got was Rage Racer on the PlayStation. So this is one of the few Ridge Racer series games that I haven't had or played. I've never played Rage Racer actually. Paid £8 for that one, which I thought was, you know, decent price really. I think it's about, I think I looked on CEX and I couldn't actually find a copy of it on CEX, but I think I looked on eBay, and eBay goes from anywhere from like £11 to £20. So I thought £8 is a pretty fair price for it, to be honest. It's in a really nice box as well, not too shabby that one. Nice and complete as well. So you've got manual and the disc there, which is in good condition as well. So let's turn that around. Quite a cool disc. So yeah, £8. I thought that was quite a nice little pick up, that one. Quite looking forward to giving that one a go. The only thing I did notice is that it's got a France 98 FIFA sticker on the front, so that's a box swap. But I'll either get that off or find a FIFA game and swap it out or something. So I think I might even have FIFA France 98, or whatever it was called, France 98, the game. I think I have actually. It's the one with that lenticular sleeve, I think. Or not quite lenticular, it's like a funny shiny kind of sleeve. Anyway, so yeah, Rage Racer, we'll see what that one is like. I do like Ridge Racer. And then again from that shop, from Rewind, I also picked up Capcom Fighting Jam on the Xbox, and I paid £12 for that one. £15 in CEX at the moment, so I thought that was a pretty decent price for that. Another fighting game that I've been wanting to play. I see this around occasionally and just never picked it up. But I am on a bit of a fighting game beat 'em up kind of spree at the moment. If it's not scrolling beat 'em ups, it's 2D and 3D sort of beat 'em ups, which I'm tending to just pick up and play at the moment. So yeah, Capcom Fighting Jam. That's the back of it. It does probably need a new box, to be fair. So this is a combination of, what is it, Street Fighter 2, Darkstalkers, Street Fighter Alpha, and there was another game I think thrown in there, isn't there? Red Earth. Is that like a animal kind of combat game or something like that? Is there loads of creatures in that? I don't know. I've never played it, but I know I've heard about it. So yeah, we'll see what that's like. Sort of semi kind of crossover game, innit? Like that disc as well. That disc is quite cool with Sakura and Ryu on the front of it. So yeah, £12. Not bad, that one. Happy with that. So I was happy with that stack. But obviously I was sort of coming home a little bit disappointed with the fact that I'd not picked up those two most wanted. I was a little bit dejected in a way. So on the way home I thought, well, I'm just going to nip into Lee as well. It's kind of on the way home and nip into Gremlins games. And I did actually sort of have in mind, I thought, there's a game there that was there a couple of weeks ago. I wonder if it's still there. If it is, I'll probably grab it this time. Because I sort of thought I should have grabbed it when I was there last time, to be fair. But it was still there. So I picked it up this time, and it's a lovely, lovely boxed copy of 1080 snowboarding on the N64. And apart from that slight sort of little dink on the front cover there, this is in immaculate condition. Really nice condition, to be fair, of a very, very good snowboarding game on the N64. So very happy to pick this one up finally. When I first started this channel and I was doing these pickup videos, snowboarding was kind of like, I don't know, I just seemed to go through a phase of a lot of snowboarding games. I've not bought one for a while, so yeah, here we go again. So yeah, there's the manual. Again, really nice condition. That it almost feels like that's not been opened. You know, even like the corners feel quite sharp still. So that's a nice instruction booklet. Obviously the safety thingies in there as well, and it's even got the N64 poster in there too, so that's a nicely looked after copy of 1080. Gosh, there's even a registration card there too, so it's really complete. Nice inlay box, get that out, might as well. Nice inlay box, all in good condition, and there's the cartridge as well. Good chunky N64 cartridge, you can't beat them, can you? Yeah, 1080 snowboarding. Great game though, really good snowboarding game. Do like 1080. I think I've got Avalanche. Have I got Avalanche? Not sure. Can't remember. I think I've got Avalanche on the GameCube, but I'll check. But yeah, I have played this one before, obviously, and it was yeah, really decent game. So oh sorry, and I paid £15 for that. I forgot to tell you how much I paid for it. But so yeah, £15 for that. I thought in that condition that's a really fair and decent price for that. I think CEX is the same for boxed and complete, £15 at the moment, which I think is quite cheap for what is a very good N64 game. So if you are looking to sort of build an N64 collection, yeah, £15 is not a bad price to pay for that at all. Whether you'll get it in that condition or not, I don't know, good luck. But yeah, we'll enjoy that one. Enjoy playing that one again. So those were the pickups today. Yeah, great pickups. Slightly annoyed by the fact that I couldn't grab those two games, but hey ho. Anyway, so I said this was going to be slightly vlog-like, so I'm going to not do my usual end the video here. I'm going to say for now, good night, because yeah, I might have the potential to go somewhere in the morning, so I might do a little bit more of an additional bit to this video in the morning. So for now, I'll see you in the morning. Right, so it's Saturday morning now. Yeah, got over the slight sort of disappointment of some of yesterday. It was a busy day yesterday. I was really tired last night. But anyway, Saturday morning, got a couple of hours spare. So what I've decided to do is we're going to head to Salford quickly. So I've never really been into Salford. It's only 20 minutes down the road, not too far from us. And go to CEX there. Now, Salford CEX, for some reason, whenever I'm looking for games on the app, that branch always seems to pop up as having the game that I want in stock. So obviously I can't remember any of those games now, but we'll go and have a look and see what's there, see if there's anything else about. We'll have to be quick because football's this afternoon. It's 12:30 kickoff for Bolton today, so we're going to have to be fairly quick. But yeah, I'll go and see what's there, and I'll probably show you if I pick anything up from there.
later on. Let's get to it. Back from Salford, and yeah, semi-successful sort of trip. Picked up a few more games, but I'll show you those later on because I'm in a bit of a rush now because we're going to get to the match. So depending on how the result goes, I might show some footage of around the ground and stuff. So we'll see how it goes. If we lose, we may be going straight to the games, but we'll see how it goes. Come on, you whites.
So let's bring you today's teams. Starting with
And we're back in the games room after what was a slightly disappointing result, really. We lost 1-0 today to Stockport. Can't win them all, can you? To be fair, they played really, really well. Referee was rubbish, though. Anyway, back to the games. So I went to Salford CEX this morning. First time I've been into Salford City Centre. I think it's City Centre, isn't it? So yeah, I've not been to that CEX before. There wasn't a huge amount else there. There was quite a few charity shops, but as always, no games whatsoever. But yeah, CEX was okay. And I did pick up a small little bundle of games. So I'll show you what I picked up. And the first one is PlayStation 2 Thunderbirds. Yeah, I know this is probably not a very good game, but I am a big fan of Jerry Anderson stuff. I do love Jerry Anderson's TV shows, Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet. I grew up with like Terrorhawks as well, all that stuff. I just love the Jerry Anderson kind of vibe and the look of those and sounds of those shows. So yeah, I just thought Thunderbirds, I will give it a quick go. I don't think it will be that great. It was only £4 as well, so yeah, we'll see what that's like. I think there was a Captain Scarlet game as well, so I wouldn't mind playing that too. But yeah, not expecting too much from that one really. And then next up, I did pick up 2 PSVR games. So I've got more PSVR games here to go in the backlog of PSVR games I've got there. I'm not sure when I'm going to get round to playing these 2. One of them actually is a bit of a pick up and play type game. I'll show you that one first. So the first one is Radial G Racing Revolved. So PlayStation 4 PSVR game, £5 for that. Yeah, sort of future racer basically. and it got good reviews actually. It's had pretty decent reviews, this. I'm not expecting it to be as good as Wipeout the Omega Collection, but I do like Future Racers, and Wipeout really blew me away. I really enjoyed playing that in VR, so yeah, looking forward to giving that one a go. See what it's like. Future Racer. And then another PlayStation VR game, and this one is Loading Human Chapter 1. So I don't know a great deal about this one. Again, that was £5. I think this is a game that got sort of mixed reviews. It's one of those kind of, it nearly is great in a way. That one, you know, that sort of game where the idea is great and the sort of concept is really good, but the execution is not quite good. I've heard a lot of issues maybe about the controls in it. It take a lot of getting used to, but it looks quite interesting, and I just fancied giving it a go. And at £5, you know, it's not too much to pay. It's basically like a sci-fi adventure type first person sort of game. It's not, I don't think it's particularly like an action game or anything like that, but yeah, it just looks interesting. Quite like the art style of that as well. And yeah, these kind of VR games, they're just something a bit different, aren't they? Especially when you're sort of immersed into the world of, in, you know, the game world. So yeah, we'll see what that one's like. £5 I paid for that one. Loading Human. And then the last one, and I've been wanting to play one of the games on this, and it's like a compilation disc. I've had this on the Xbox 360 for a long time, but I've been wanting to play this game, well, one game on here in particular, again, because it's one of my favourite games of all, probably my second favourite game of all time. So I saw it in that CEX today, and I'm sure it's come down in price a little bit as well. So I paid £10 for it. I think it might have been 12, maybe even 14 at some points recently. But at £10, I thought, I'm going to grab this now. Get the PlayStation 3 version, let's get it in, and I want to play Half-Life 2 once again. So the game is, of course, the orange box. And yeah, again, this is like one of the best sort of compilation type discs money can buy. If only because, you know, Half-Life 2 is an absolute classic. You also then get those kind of expansions with Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2 on here. And you also get the original Portal game, as well as Team Fortress 2 on there as well. So, you know, there's a lot of game there on this disc, and for £10, I think that's a bit of a bargain, really, at that price. I think the Xbox 360 version is still veering up towards the £20 mark, maybe £18, something like that. So it's quite expensive, that. So to get that one for a tenner, really happy with that, and can't wait to play Half-Life 2 again. It's been a while since I've played it, actually, so yeah, it'd be good to revisit that. And I think that's it. I think there won't be anything coming tomorrow, I don't think. So I'm going to give the end, well, put a bit of an end on this sort of vlog video. I totally appreciate that this has been a little bit kind of mishmashed together a bit, because I've not really had any sort of plans or set down kind of plans for a video this weekend. I just thought, well, we've been off work and going here, there and everywhere, I'll just cobble things together a little bit, just do it a little bit differently. So totally off the cuff, a bit winging it a little bit, but hope you've still enjoyed it, and really appreciate you watching to the end. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.